The palace of the Lumerian Star Throne floated in a halo of violet clouds above the capital world of the Lumerian Dominion. Every wall gleamed with crystal panels shaped by ancient artisans, and every guard stood at attention in polished silver armor that shimmered in the constant glow of the atmospheric lights. The queen sat upon her high throne with her wings folded close and her voice calm as she listened to the ministers, who debated yet another report of unrest along the distant frontier. She retained an ageless grace, but beneath her composed posture a subtle tension gathered because rumor after rumor had drifted across the galaxy about an unclassified threat, a force that seemed to rise wherever conflict appeared. Whispers suggested it was a single being, and that frightened her more than she admitted. The queen had heard countless tales about legendary figures, some from her own world's history and others from distant civilizations. But a threat capable of wiping out entire raider fleets without leaving wreckage behind sounded impossible. Yet scouts returned with terrified accounts, and diplomats returned with trembling voices, and merchants claimed their trade routes had been cleansed of pirates by a lone figure who appeared and vanished like a phantom. Every rumor pointed toward a human with no allegiance, a human with no recorded origin, a human whose name shifted depending on the teller, but always carried the same core of dread and awe. Her daughter, the princess, entered the throne room walking with a serenity that made even the seasoned counselors straighten. The princess was known for her calm intelligence and diplomatic skill, and she had been sent across many worlds to negotiate peace where older envoys had failed. She approached the throne and knelt briefly before standing again. The queen sensed her daughter's confidence, but also a strange, quiet excitement that had not been present before something had happened on the princess's recent mission, and the queen suspected it was something extraordinary. Before the queen could speak, the doors opened again, and a messenger rushed in with eyes widened. He carried a crystalline tablet and held it up to the queen after reading the content. Her face drained of color. Her ministers noticed and grew restless because the queen almost never showed fear. Her voice wavered when she asked who the tablet mentioned. The messenger swallowed hard before answering with the name heard in hushed stories that traveled between stars. A princess saw her mother pale and stepped forward. Ministers recoiled as the queen murmured the name under her breath. Every story ever whispered about the figure came flooding back, a being born from a world considered peaceful and technologically modest, yet capable of feats the Dominion's elite soldiers could not match. A human, a warrior beyond reason, a figure spoken of in myths exchanged by spacefarers. The princess breathed in before answering the unspoken question. She spoke gently but firmly. The queen's words trembled when she whispered that name again. The princess replied that she knew him, not as a legend, not as a distant rumor, but as someone she had met. The queen stared at her with disbelief, because no one claimed familiarity with a myth. The princess explained that during her diplomatic tour, her ship had been ambushed by a powerful slaver fleet. Her guard had fought valiantly, but the ambush overwhelmed them. The princess had been captured and taken aboard the raider flagship. She recalled the chains, the dim lights, the suffocating dread, and the certainty that her fate was sealed. Then the lights of the ship flickered. The alarm sounded, the hull shook, and silence swallowed the corridor. She waited for raiders to storm in, but instead a single figure appeared, tall for a human and moving with resolute calm. He wore simple armor marked only by age and battle scars. His presence felt like a storm given form, a force that existed beyond fear. He freed her without speaking. He led her through wrecked corridors where raiders lay unconscious but alive, never slain, as if he had defeated them without cruelty. He rescued her crew, repaired damaged systems with tools he carried, guided her ship back to safe territory, and vanished before she could ask his story. The queen struggled to understand. Why would such a being appear on the frontier? Why would he rescue her daughter without requesting reward? Why would a myth walk among ordinary lives? The princess explained that after returning home, she had searched for information. She spoke to travelers and diplomats and scholars. Every account described the same figure, a human warrior who appeared where turmoil threatened innocent lives. He never accepted payment. He never sought recognition. He acted with a sense of responsibility that seemed almost ancient. Some called him the guardian. Some called him the last sentinel. Some believed he was a relic from a forgotten human order. Yet the princess sensed something deeper. She believed he protected not because he sought legend, but because he could not bear to let harm spread. The queen asked why the messenger had delivered a new report. The princess replied that the mythic warrior had appeared again. This time on the border of the Dominion itself, he had stopped a rogue armada from launching a devastating attack. The armada had been preparing to strike several colonies, and by the time Dominion scouts arrived, they found the ships disabled, their weapon systems offline, and their captains kneeling in surrender. The myth was seen leaving in a small craft. He had not spoken. He had not revealed his purpose. He simply acted and departed. The queen realized the Dominion owed survival to a human of impossible capability. She feared his power, yet also saw hope, if such a being existed. What would happen if he ever turned against them? Yet if he protected innocent lives, perhaps he sought peace rather than dominance. The princess stepped closer to her mother. She revealed something she had kept private. After rescuing her, he had spoken a single sentence before departing. He said he acted because no life should be taken by cruelty. His voice carried a weight like someone who bore ancient burdens. The princess had not forgotten that tone. The queen asked the question that troubled every leader. Why had her daughter been spared by someone who owed the Dominion nothing? The princess answered softly that she believed the warrior saw all life as worthy of protection. The queen's fear slowly shifted into cautious respect. The princess then revealed something even more shocking. She had seen him again, not during battle, not during turmoil, but during her travels through neutral space. He had approached her with the same calm presence. He had asked if she sought peace. For her people, she had said yes. They had spoken, not as royalty and legend, but as two individuals trying to understand the galaxy. Over time, she grew to know him beyond myth. He carried no arrogance. He carried no pride in his feats. He carried only a quiet determination to shield those who could not shield themselves. He taught her that strength was not measured in domination, but in restraint. He guided her understanding of the human spirit, one shaped by history, struggle, and perseverance. The queen listened in disbelief. The princess continued. She revealed that she had made a decision during those meetings, a decision that would bind her life to someone who protected rather than ruled, a decision based not on politics, but on trust. She had chosen him as her partner. Silence filled the throne room. The ministers were frozen. The queen trembled not with anger, but with the profound weight of what this meant. To be allied with a myth, to share family bonds with someone whose very presence changed the course of conflicts. Finally, the queen whispered the question that had shattered her calm. Earlier, who is this human? The princess smiled with quiet certainty and answered, he is the warrior of myths. He is the protector feared by those who harm. He is the guardian who walks alone among the stars. And he is the one she loves. The queen felt her fear slowly melt into acceptance. If the galaxy held such a being, then perhaps fate had chosen her daughter well, for the Dominion, for the countless worlds, and for the uncertain future of the stars. A union built not from power, but from shared purpose. A hope that even the strongest myth sought harmony rather than conquest. The queen rose from her throne. She placed her hand on her daughter's shoulder. In her heart, she knew the galaxy would soon change. Not through war, not through conquest, but through the quiet resolve of a human who chose to defend rather than destroy. The queen whispered that she wished to meet him not as a ruler, but as a mother. The princess nodded. She knew he would come when called, not because he served a throne, but because he cared for those who believed in peace across the stars. On a distant world filled with silver sand, a lone human looked to the sky as if sensing the call. He carried no banner. He commanded no armies. He lived as a myth, but walked as a man, a protector shaped by countless battles and countless acts of mercy. He felt a new path unfolding, not one of wandering solitude, but one of partnership with someone who saw beyond his legend. The galaxy whispered his name. The Dominion awaited his arrival, and the Queen prepared to greet the human warrior who had become the turning point of their age. The myth was walking toward destiny.